A drive-by shooting in Newman Lake lands a 32-year-old behind bars and local homes shot up. Tonight, a look at surveillance video of the shooting.
We have showers returning tomorrow, storms on Thursday before a warm weekend ahead.
The early returns are in for Spokane County's primary election. Tonight, a breakdown of the key races and the levies that appear to be passing. Good evening and thank you for joining us for the KREM 2 Night Report. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Well, the deadline is come and gone for Spokane County's primary election. Now election workers are busy processing the ballots. Tonight, we are taking an early look at the results around key races in our area. First up, voters are weighing in on the future of the Spokane Valley Rathdrum Prairie Aquifer with Measure 1. If passed, the proposal to renew and expand the aquifer protection area and authorize monthly fees of up to $125 per household. Right now, this one appears to be passing with 74% voting in favor of it. All right, in Spokane Valley, a large focus of this year's election was on Proposition 1. If passed, Prop 1 would increase the sales and use tax rate by 0.1% to provide funding for public safety services to meet increased demand for calls and service. The goal is to add new police officers and provide for law enforcement staffing and retention, pay public safety operations, maintenance and capital, and provide other public safety operations and services. As you can see right now, this one also appears to be passing with about 59% of voters in favor of it compared to about 41% opposed. All right, let's turn to the race for Spokane City Council District 3 seat, which is currently held by Zach Zappone. Early return shows Zappone in the lead with about 51% of the vote. In second, Christopher Savage with just about 29% of the vote. If these margins hold, it appears these two will advance to the general election coming up in November. One surprise return on the August ballot, the EMS levy for Spokane County Fire District 8. Despite passing during April's special election, a filing error forced them to resubmit for the August primary. Well, right now, this levy appears to be on track to pass with a little more than 61% voting in favor of it and about 38.5% opposing it. Moving to Spokane Valley Council position number 1, Mike Kelly has about 45% of the vote. Behind him, Christopher Pockle with about 32.5% of the vote. So it appears these two will move on to the general election. Staying in the Valley, Spokane Valley Council position 7, vying for outgoing council member Rod Higgins' seat. Laura Padden's out in front with just about 52% of the vote. Brad Horn sits behind her at 35%. So it appears these two will move on to the November election. Moving on to Fire District 13, Prop 1 would renew Newman Lake's Fire District EMS levy. If approved, it would cost 50 cents per $1,000 of assessed property value, costing the owner of a $400,000 property about $200 a year. Well, with about 66% of the vote, this levy appears to be passing. And again, these are just the early returns. Numbers will be updated as more ballots are processed. And if you want more election results right now and coverage, just head on over to KREM 2 Plus as well as our website, krem.com. All right, let's talk weather on this Tuesday night with Chief Meteorologist Jeremy Lagoud. Jeremy, it was a pretty perfect inland Northwest day today, if you're asking me. So what's in store for tomorrow?
Well, as we head through the next couple of days, it's a big change. Things are going to get cloudier, cooler, and we're likely going to see some scattered showers. In fact, tomorrow's high temperature might be much closer to where we sit right now than where we topped out earlier today. 73 degrees in Spokane, 72 in Coeur d'Alene, 60 up in Deer Park, and mid-70s out in central Washington. Here's our first wave of energy that brings us showers tomorrow. There's the low that brings us storms on Thursday. We talked a lot about this first wave yesterday, and here it is. It's already starting to work its way in. We're going to see increasing cloud cover overnight, and I think we might see a peak of sun early tomorrow, but that tends to be about it. I keep saying forecast models are a little overzealous when it comes to the rain. They keep drying out with each and every run. I do think it is possible that we see some rain tomorrow. That would be a little bit later in the day. Thursday, though, is where I think we have a much better chance. I think forecast models will change where we see that potential for the storms. We're going to see those predominantly in the afternoon, and a couple of those have the potential to be a little bit stronger. That's going to keep our temperatures cooler as well. So next 2 days, we're in the mid to low 70s with scattered showers, then scattered thunderstorms near 80 on Friday.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. I'll check back in with you later in the broadcast. Well, childcare and making it more accessible took center stage at tonight's Coeur d'Alene City Council meeting. KREM 2's Connor McAvoy was at that meeting and breaks down what council decided.
Coeur d'Alene City Council passed a resolution to help United Way North Idaho to better assist families when it comes to child care cost. They say that the need's only grown in recent years. Silence spoke volumes at Tuesday night's Coeur d'Alene City Council meeting. It came before a unanimous vote in favor of a resolution to readjust how existing city funds get allocated to help families. United Way North Idaho helps dozens of families in the community who are struggling with child care costs through a scholarship program. It targets asset-limited, income-constrained employed families, or ALICE. The city allocates roughly $35,000 for United Way to do just that. A qualified family receives $350 a month for a maximum of 3 months. The issue the nonprofit wants changed is having more than one child in a family being able to receive the funds. It also changes the maximum monthly amount given per child.
These proposed changes will help ensure the program remains effective and responsive to the realities families are facing today.
Sarah Welch oversees the nonprofit's scholarship program. She emphasizes the importance of this change to help reflect what she says is a growing need for more child care support.
I feel that making these changes to the scope of services will help United Way to more effectively support those ALICE families.
Sherry Badger with the city presented the information to council before voting in favor of it. The only question before voting came from Councilmember Christy Wood, asking if families outside of Coeur d'Alene receive the funds as well. Badger clarified the nonprofit allocates city-received funds to its residents only and has other scholarship programs for people outside of the jurisdiction. Everyone with the nonprofit is excited to have more money going towards families in Coeur d'Alene they serve. Connor McAvoy, KREM 2 News.
Tonight we are getting a look at the police perspective from the anti-ICE protests in downtown Spokane back in June. This after police released body camera video and reports from that night. Officers estimated the crowd swelled to as many as 1,800 people that evening. One officer noted that protesters locked arms around vehicles while federal agents were still inside. Another officer said a protester threw at least 2 munition canisters at officers' heads. Spokane police, working alongside federal agencies, said they arrested 30 individuals, including City Council President Ben Stuckert, whose arrest is seen in the newly obtained SPD body camera video. And tonight we are getting a better look at the woman accused of setting 2 fires along the Centennial Trail in Spokane Valley over the weekend. She faced a judge this afternoon. The Spokane Sheriff's Office says 44-year-old Sarah Beal was initially arrested for an unrelated misdemeanor warrant when deputies then found probable cause to charge her with 2 counts of second-degree arson, as well as arson in the second degree. That's a Class B felony and can carry a sentence of up to 10 years. The judge set her bond at $250,000 and scheduled her arraignment coming up for August 19th. Well, a new FBI report reveals how crime rates are changing across the inland Northwest. Coming up, we break down the dozens of data points months in the making.